with John Cena, who debuted in 2002, and for over 20 years he's been on our television screens, and a good chunk of it people gave him crap for, called him Super Cena. But now in 2024, we 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 hear the news of his retirement, and he announced it that he's officially retiring. And I have a feeling like he's actually gonna follow with it. I don't think he's gonna pull a Ric Flair, and it's gonna be a year-long thing. It's not gonna be like a one-off. The Sting match or Ric Flair and his 3 retirement specific matches. It's going to be an entire year-long retirement thing. So I wanted to dedicate this segment to John Cena, the wrestler, the retirement tour, and kind of start from there. I mean, what do you guys think about John Cena as like a wrestler, as a person? Like now that we're kind of like basically kind of forced to acknowledge that his end is coming in a year, and we've had a number of opinions and thoughts about him when I was watching wrestling, like, you know, like little Jimmy. What do you guys think of John Cena?
I think the way he did it is very. What? What? I don't know. I think it's very him to do it the way he did it too. Like, I think he's pretty much straight to the point about it. You know, like, this is when I'm gonna go. This is how I'm doing it, and that's it. Like, I don't think there's gonna, like you said, I don't think he's gonna pull like a Ric Flair or anything like that. He's never really seemed to be that kind of guy. But him to like let you know when the end is coming and where it's coming, I kind of like that. It's a little different than like other retirements. It's kind of like usually people being like, yeah, I think my time is coming up. I just don't know when. But for him to give us like an actual layout, I don't know. It just felt like something he would do. It was very him, and it's actually really like genuine too. It feels really. It felt like nice. Like, okay, like it's sad, and I've always been a fan of his. I've known throughout his career, like he's always been like known to be like one of the more generous guys in the wrestling business. You know.
Yep.
Obviously, still had haters along with that still too, but no, it felt very fitting
at
for
least.
him. Like, this is me, this is where I'm going. Yeah, this is me, this is when I'm going, and then but how we get there, we're gonna do this like together as the WWE universe. So I'm very intrigued to see it. You know?
His time is up. His time is now. I'm not gonna front. I was a John Cena hater for a very long time. Because I mean, I think it was just how he was booked. More specifically, right after Chain Gang Cena, when he started to have the multicolored shirts and all that shit, and he was like, you know, the PG era kid friendly guy. Like, what were we, like early teens or late teens when he started doing all that shit?
And we did 06. That was basically still Chain Gang John Cena, and then 06, 07.
It was whenever they changed the FU to the AA.
Yeah. But then when he started having like every color, he changed it.
What? No.
Oh my god. But, okay. So what do you think? So you talked about, you know, you hated John Cena.
Yep. And I found myself, I mean, as did a lot of people, like the hardcore fans, and now it's just funny that everybody turns around because, again, wrestling fans are fucking fickle. Like, they hate Roman Reigns, fickle, and now everybody loves it. He's gone. We want him. Now everybody loves John Cena, and he was my childhood and this and that. But I bet you fucking money that those same motherfuckers were shitting on him. And maybe not, but I would say there's definitely a percentage that were like
about
me.
85.
Yeah. Because
I mean, think about that. Like 15 years ago was like 2009 or 8. You know, do you know what that means? A kid was born and now he's a teenager right now. He's 15 or 16 years old. So I would also tell you that a lot of the people in the current audience were those little toddlers and 6, 7 year olds who liked John Cena, and now they're in their late
Right.
who are watching WWE. So it's like Hulk Hogan or The Rock in his current form, announcing retirement, and yeah, I mean, like for us, it's also like peak, like that's kind of like our Hogan, because John Cena, when he hit like his
Hogan.
peak, got the championship like 05 or 05, 06, 07, when he was like going up like this. We were 13, 14, like that's like peak, like teenagers like watching wrestling stuff. And then you basically see his entire career up until now. I mean, I'll say this. I was part of the Cena suck stuff, but I was looking at it from, I mean, it wasn't, and I don't know, I don't think you legitimately hated him. You probably just hated his booking, right? You didn't like hate, I hate that son of a bitch, like personally.
I hate his face.
No.
So I mean, it's like the fun to boo him kind of stuff, and that's kind of where I came from, because when he won a match, I was like, if it was like CM Punk, John Cena, yeah, exactly, like that. It's like, that guy, kind of like laughing about it, and I still liked him as a person. I don't think anyone can hate John Cena, especially like if you're thinking about like Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I mean everything that guy was wrestling 24/7 consistently, and dealing with cancer kids when he was done wrestling, and then being on the road consistently. So I mean, when he announced his retirement, I was at, like, when I rewatched the Money in the Bank event and he was talking, I was actually getting a little emotional, because it does feel like, because you see him like you got the the wrinkles on your face. He's John's outfit. He's announcing his retirement, and he's doing this whole speech about how it's his last year, and it's just kind of gives you pause. I mean, it partially kind of it kind of like acknowledge your mortality, because you see this person who's been around on your TV for 15 or 16 years, and then you see that this like symbol, this person is saying that they're basically finishing this constant in your life, that's in your routine, is very and it's just a very like impactful, so the fact that you have this, like, I feel like I'd like to my pennies and see him one last time, and there's going to be a Chicago show, because Chicago is one of his favorite towns, and goddamn, I bet you there might even John Cena ring in Chicago. That'd be crazy. Because if you had to give me my favorite John Cena match, it'd be Punk John Cena Money in the Bank 2011, because that was like if I wanted to capture that feeling in a bottle of like what a wrestling show is, I'd be a billionaire, because that shit was like top tier, like emotions, the top to bottom like show, but that specific match was just so good, and the crowd and everything was. And then he wins, or John Cena loses, and then he goes off with the belt. Like all of that was perfection. And then they kind of fumbled a little bit.
And then he ruined Rey Mysterio.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna say, but yeah, but that specific, like, leading up.
That's the John I remember.
And then right after, yeah, exactly. Him being involved in those kind of things made people hate him.
Or Zack Ryder. That's the John I remember. Taking his girl and then letting him get
flowers and the
his
neck
page.
brace. Was it Eva Marie, I think, or Eve Torres? Eve Torres.
Yeah.
Was,
I hope
think,
you're lying there as uncomfortably as possible.
When he was sitting there.
Well, no, when he was knocked out through the table and Punk cut that promo.
The pipe bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic. But yeah, I mean, yeah, John Cena's tour announcement. I mean, he had the 5 moves of doom, and people were giving him crap for it, but he's not doing anything different that The Rock did. That whole did, Stone Cold Steve Austin, even Randy Orton. He's got his own 5 moves.
But he's cool though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What about you guys? Like, favorite John Cena matches, most memorable? If you guys had to pick one or two, what would you pick as a favorite John Cena match? You don't mind? Because I got another one.
I liked all the Edge feuds. The Edge feud stuff was cool. The rated RKO and all that shit. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Or was that DX? I forget. It might have been DX.
Well, it was rated RKO versus DX, but Edge also had a big feud with John Cena because then he had the rated R spinner belt and that whole thing, Live Sex Celebration, New Year's Revolution, all that kind of stuff. Like, that was the John Cena feud. At the TLC match, I think in Canada, like that was like around the start, that was a really good match. And yeah, definitely one of his best feuds was with Edge. Too bad in AEW. That'd be great to see them go toe to toe.
I personally enjoyed, because he's also one of my other favorite wrestlers, but when he actually tagged with Shawn Michaels for a little while there, I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Like the like, thank God, like I mean, not necessarily thank God, like he tore his quad, but like when he tore his quad during that DX feud, and then they basically switched Blade like 2 to Shawn Michaels. That was a really good match. And what are you guys just zooming in on each other and just laughing?
You're cutting off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, your microphone still.
That's fine.
Oh my God.
That's fine.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that why your eyebrows raise every time?
Because
cutting off.
it'd be like a sentence, and then it'd be like a key point, and I'm like, huh?
Oh man!
I mean,
don't tell me it's most of the podcast.
Well, it's like mostly good. That's fine.
Okay.
People will
mostly
suffer
good,
through
but
this. We'll figure
Yeah,
it
well,
out.
I hope your recording picks it up, but maybe not. But yeah, I think the John Cena Edge feud, and then Shawn Michaels versus John Cena at WrestleMania 23 was really good. And that they had that 1 hour like Iron Man match, or that 1 hour match on Raw. That was like one of the best matches in Raw history. That was really good. So another great feud. And I feel like people don't give him enough credit because they kind of just plastered him as just kind of that top guy who sells T-shirts, but they don't necessarily tie him in with like Daniel Bryan or whatever, indie darling wrestler, when it comes to like matches. And I feel like that does a disservice to him when it comes to his wrestling style. But I mean, what do you guys feel about I mean, we talked about some of the feuds. Were there any other matches or people that he interacted with that you guys felt like stuck out to you during those 15 years? AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
And he kept losing.
Yeah. And right now, John Cena's on a losing streak.
Well, I mean that in the sense of like that was at a time when like Cena was getting out of the Super Cena phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it did a lot for AJ Styles for Cena to be able to lose to him even clean a couple times.
Right. I mean, I feel like, well, I'm just double checking, making sure it's like on the right setting. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I mean, John Cena, I mean, the Bray Wyatt stuff, I have a mixed feelings about it, but given the situation with like the COVID and stuff, I thought it was actually an interesting match. I don't know, Chris, have you seen that match that they did at the Firefly Funhouse match? I thought that was pretty innovative.
Oh, I saw like clips of it where it's like it's like more cinematic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, David, when you watched it?
My first thought was, what the hell did I just watch? But like in a good way, in a good
Yeah.
way. And yeah, I thought it was, I guess it was fitting. I would like to have seen them have like a regular match just because of the way the Fiend was handling things around then.
Yeah.
But I guess it was good closure in a way,
What
especially
about
just like all the little like side scenes that they picked, like the heel turn and things like that.
yeah? So actually, that's a good segue because I want you guys to tell me: do you feel like having him turn heel was a missed opportunity? I mean, he was a heel at the beginning of his career, and then basically became a face and never really changed since. But do you feel like turning him heel in those 15 years plus that he was, that shirt seller, do you feel like it's a missed opportunity, or do you feel like they did the right decision?
Now that it's said and done, I guess I'm just more curious what that timeline would have been. But I don't know. His career has pretty much just been straightforward, really. And I think I kind of appreciate that because a lot of people's careers, when they get to the end, they've had many of heel turns, many of face changes. Factions too. Cena kind of was just pretty just straight, just Cena the whole way. Yeah, he was a heel
Right.
at the first, like you said, but after that, he pretty much stayed consistent.
He had the C Nation. He didn't need a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he always felt like a final boss anytime he would do, whoever he would be feuding with. Like, that's why you would sometimes just want to cheer the other guy in his matches because he always was this unstoppable guy, more or less. So it's like, come on, beat his ass or whatever, right? Because you're sick of this guy winning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so,
Cena wins.
yeah, haha, Cena wins, lol.
I do remember in Chicago there was that one fight he had with Brock Lesnar. I forgot what pay per view that was. A long time ago, but like it was like a strap match, and then you had to hit like the corner lights and the turnbuckles. It was kind of interesting. I forgot how that worked.
Is that his
It was,
first time of Brock Lesnar, or are you talking about when he returned 12?
when he returned 2012. Yeah, I think it was that one because the pay per view was definitely here.
It might have been like an Extreme Rules match, but I don't know if it was. It might have been a strap match. I do remember like Brock like beating the shit out of him.
He did,
He,
but Cena still won though. He
Yeah,
did it AA to him on the staircase, like he
he had
brought it
him
up.
bleed.
Yeah, and the whole crowd was very anti-Cena in Chicago that night for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was partially also because like, well, it's Brock Lesnar. He wasn't there for that must have been like what, almost 10 years, something like that.
This was a while ago. The Nexus was still around at this point when I saw this pay per view.
Yeah, yeah. So he left in 04, and then he came back 2012. So yeah, I mean, it's almost a decade. So I mean, people are just excited to see Brock Lesnar. And again, at that point, John Cena has been at the top for the better part of 7 or 8 years. Um, Now, what do you guys do you feel like he was preventing people? I don't know. He's preventing people. I mean, it's not like he's necessarily one citing it. I mean, it's Vince McMahon at the end of the day. But do you feel like there were people on the roster that could match his star power? Because that era, I mean, like we look at it now, and you have Roman Reigns, and like in his current aura, you have Cody Rhodes. I mean, you have people like AJ Styles and Randy Orton. And I feel like this is kind of a different era where you didn't necessarily rely on like the one person to carry you. But I felt like from 2007 to like 2015 or 16, it felt like you needed John Cena because that was like the top guy. You know what I mean? Like he was like the breadwinner. And that's I don't get that now with the current roster, but it did feel like he was kind of holding everything together. Do you guys feel that same way, or do you feel like there were other people on the roster during that time that could have done the same job?
I mean, he's the only one that killed Osama bin Laden, so
He did. I remember that vividly.
we got
My
him.
friends. Yeah, he
Good.
said we got him.
I'd say there were other superstars that were definitely coming up in the ranks, and definitely the WWE Universe was showing a big interest in them while he was still probably around that hey time period that you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But Cena also played the part of like not, or more the part of like agreeing with the audience and saying like, you know, he would, like Daniel Bryan was one of them. I remember like he was very much like in favor of him like main
2013.
eventing stuff. Yeah.
The prototype.
Prototype.
Cena, yeah.
But I think it would have felt, yeah, I think he was necessarily to be that. But other guys definitely could have done the role that he did, like he did. I don't know. Especially meta. I don't know. Not to say that they couldn't, but I don't know. I mean, that's why the rivalry was so good, because he was like kind of sounding like he wanted to be that guy, but in his own right. I don't know. That's why it worked so well, because he was like the anti-Cena, you know.
Right.
So
I mean, he spoke with conviction. Like his promos always felt like they hit, even now, obviously. And I feel like he brought up everybody else more or less when he would feud with them. So even though like people would hate on him, but it's like his capability and capacity as a performer made everybody else kind of look better in that sense, despite, you know, what people thought of him being the guy who's always winning, predictable kind of shit, right? But
yeah.
you know, just looking back at it, you know, he did a lot as far as just like keeping that specific era of WWE more or less afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more I look at it now, the more I agree, because like he was the face of the company. And if you don't have the face of the company there doing what he does, I don't think it would have been the same.
I mean,
this
next year will be very interesting to see, you know, how his character is in this kind of current version of WWE. I mean, I think that there might be a bit more freedom as far as what he can say or do, or, you know, he was saying, I think during the press conference, that you'll probably see a different side of him versus, you know, what you expect out of him in those specific, you know.
Well, because he's not going to be giving like those standard like baby face stuff. Like he did have convictions, but I also felt like he still had to kind of go between the lines, with the exception of maybe that Rock Cena feud, which another one that we forgot, Rock Cena. Like those back-to-back matches, like that whole feud was great and was actually legitimately heated between the two. During its first match, I think during the second one they were better, but I mean that stuff got heated when like Cena was calling out The Rock for like writing on his wrist, because you could like pause the frame and then you saw that, you know, The Rock had like something written down on his wrist. I think Cena came back during because Rock had the Rock concert, and then Cena came in as like, you know, word life rapper gimmick, like he wore the whole chain and everything, and did basically like a diss rap on Rock, and that was really good. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like with the exception of like CM Punk and then Daniel Bryan, I still feel like John Cena was still that kind of person, that constant, like that's the guy who's moving merchandise and that kind of stuff consistently. You know, whether you like him or you hate him, because he always got a reaction. Like if you hated him, you gave him a reaction. If you loved him, he got cheers. And, you know, there was that big period of, you know, women and children were screaming, and then Cena sucks was like all the guys. And again, I think no one hated him, but it was that kind of feeling of the regime, like the basically. I feel like John Cena was at the top longer than Hogan, Rock, or Stone Cold was. Like he was at the top for like a decade. Hogan was in like the modern WWF, like rock and wrestling and stuff. I think John Cena was like the longest on top for like a good 15 years.
True.
But yeah, but that also kind of shows like the longevity you had and the talent you have to be at that top, you know, and keep moving merchandise for as long as you did. Like Hogan did not do that.
Fruity Pebble.
Yeah, exactly. Fruity Pebbles. So yeah, I mean, I'm also going to be interested in seeing what they do with this retirement tour, and that's what makes it so intriguing because you know it's the end, and they could really have it go anywhere, and
He's
it
gonna
could
be
be.
champ one more time. He's got to beat Ric Flair.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's talk about that. Do you feel like he should be a 17-time
Oh yeah.
world champion and beat Ric Flair?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes too.
I'm gonna say fuck Ric Flair.
Go ahead and give it to him.
Ric Flair.
Yeah. Yeah.
The record's been around for long enough. The
Yeah.
only person who can do it should be him.
Yeah, I mean, John Cena, I mean, deserves it. And I mean, someone asked, like, "Oh, do you think he's going to be in the Hall? Who, if he's not going in the Hall of Fame, who? He's an obvious first
Damn, you
choice."
Cussing hard as hell. Your mic's like, fuck you, bitch. You bitch. No.
Is it cutting off when I'm like this close too?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's probably a noise gate issue. I don't know if you messed with your noise gate or something.
No, I haven't. Maybe it's like I don't even know.
Do you have
And
you gotta
anything
check
else open
wires.
that might be taking in your voice?
I don't know, but I'll just look at it later. But I guess you can keep in the bleeps and blurps.
I mean, there's no way around it. It'd be like cutting up the whole motherfucker.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like he should beat the record and be 17-0. And I don't know if I don't think he'll be in the Hall of Fame next year, but do you guys feel differently? Do you think he will be inducted next year?
Yeah, I think it's all part of it. It's the cherry on top. He gets inducted. He goes off in the sunset. He's champion. He retires the belt. Some shit like that.
Okay, so let's go back to that retire. Who do you want him to face during that tour?
Either Punk or Rock.
Well, it's gonna be more than that. I don't think he's just gonna be.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna do like a greatest hits tour, kind of like in Like a Dragon. Like he's revisiting all the people seen and fought people. So I feel like you can do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not Triple H, but probably like Randy Orton. I'd like to see him do like current people. So Cody Rhodes. I mean,
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Yeah, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. I don't think Triple H is coming out of retirement for that one, so that's out of the question. I wish like Edge can just come back, like Tony Khan just let him, but I doubt that he would do that. Who else?
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett, honestly, I thought like there was something going to happen with him and Drew McIntyre to get him back in the ring, but I don't know if it's like a medical thing. That's why he's out and he's just doing commentary, but that would be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Matt Cardona.
See, yeah, I'd like to see that happen too because they're both in different parts of their career, and Matt Cardona has obviously gotten much more experienced than just the woo guy.
He's
Edgehead.
But I would like to hear the O Radio theme song one time. He's gonna come out with that stupid like headband with like the hair that's attached to it, as that was the merchandise, and they had like a picture with John Cena wearing that stuff.
Woo, woo, woo. Hell yeah.
Cena never wrestled Stone Cold, right? Ever? Or even took a stunner? Can't recall.
I don't know. I feel like he must have taken one stunner.
Yeah, I feel like that at least that. But even that I can't recall.
It's gonna be Roman versus Cena.
Ooh, that's another one.
That would be good.
I'd like to
That would
see.
be good.
But I would like them to run back Rock Cena, CM Punk Cena. If we were going back to like the original guys, I think both would do
Orton.
gangbusters. Orton, yeah. I'm trying to think of like other new guys.
Everybody from their hometown. Punk will be in Chicago, or he'll be wherever he's from.
Oh, the new guys?
Yeah.
I want to see Braun Breaker fucking break him in half.
Yeah. That's a good one. Braun Breaker. I want to see
Gunther.
Gunther versus John Cena. That'd be really good. Um,
Rey Mysterio.
One more
Rey
time.
Mysterio, you can run that back.
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, Dominic is going to be the first sacrificial lamb for John Cena at the altar of the god John Cena. That's who's going under the knife first. Like in January, like probably like the first Raw on Netflix. It's going to be
Plunge
John
that
Cena
shit.
versus Dominic Mysterio, which
yeah.
that's going to be entertaining as hell. And you know what I think it is? I think it's my internet connection for whatever reason, because I'm seeing like the video connected. So it's like some red, some
Yeah,
I
damn
don't know what's
internet.
going on there.
Were you in a third world country?
Yeah, I got gigabit internet from Xfinity. Like, why would it be doing that? But whatever. So yeah. Any other feuds? Any other people before we kind of wrap this up?
Balor. The Six. The Wyatt Six.
Oh yeah. That'd be good because he has that connection to Bray Wyatt. So having Bo Dallas or whatever they're going to call him now, I don't think he's going to be called Uncle Howdy consistently.
You got to bring
It
back
was-
the crew cut one more time. You gotta-
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he should
He's got to get that barber shit in the back of his head.
hit all the beats.
I mean, like do the word life shit, do the fucking chain gang, all of it. Just like the Sting retirement where he had his sons out and you had Surfer Sting and fucking Wolfpack Sting. Hell yeah.
I think Wolfpack Sting is actually going to wrestling school now.
Yep, sure is.
One of them.
Bring him back to the E.
I mean, he looks like a spitting image of Steve Borden, man. It's
That'd
crazy.
be cool. Although they'd probably put him in AEW, but all right. So you know what? One last question before we wrap this up. Is would you put John Cena on your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? And it doesn't have to be for it. Let's say it's top 5. Do you feel like he's up there?
Nope.
Why or why not?
You said
Nope.
Sorry.
I would.
I would too.
Well, for me, I didn't really watch his peak.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I know that's kind of like where you kind of stopped for a bit.
I would say if I had to put a timeline on my wrestling, it would be 97 to 07 and then 2013 and to now.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good taste of John Cena then,
Yeah.
you know.
But
So that's fair. I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily. I mean, it's kind of hard. I feel like
He's up
he
there.
has to be. I feel like he has to be for me. If I had to be super objective about it,
Yeah.
just based on, I mean, everything, like all the feuds that I've witnessed, and again, just like the person he is and the amount of work and dedication he put in. If I had to be objective, I think I would put him up there. Like, I'd rather him be up there than Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair, personally. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah, he should be up there above at least Hogan.
yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
Hogan at least.
sorry, brother.
sorry, doesn't work for me, brother. You're off my.
I
Not
like
worth
what Triple
more.
H said because when they did the press conference after he announced his retirement, Triple H said there would be a Mount Rushmore. I personally feel it's what Triple H said that he would be at the top because when you talk about like a workhorse, you know, John Cena was up there basically. You
I'd
know?
put
Yeah,
Triple
He
H
wasn't
on
just-
there.
I don't know if I put Triple H on there. I mean, yeah.
Maybe Sean. I'll do
There's
Sean.
a lot of
Yeah.
top people. I mean, it's hard, but
Bret Hart.
I don't know.
That
That you know
Weiner.
what? That's gonna be our next episode. We're gonna have a segment of
What?
there.
That-
It's doing it again.
that bitter
again?
ass
What now?
Canadian. No, I'm guessing you said something about Mount Rushmore and who's
Yeah, I was
top.
saying like on our next thing, it's got to be the internet because my face is right here on the microphone. But Yeah, I was saying for the next episode, I might have a segment of what everyone's Mount Rushmore is and why, and then we'll just kind of talk about it. So
That's 5 people, right? 5. That's
Oh no, everyone's gonna hate me.
I'm gonna
bring it on, baby.
Yeah, let's stick it to 5. Let's stick it to 5 because I feel like that'll be easier. I don't want to say 10, or do you feel like 10 would be easier? But that 10 almost feels like it's copping out. 4? Nah.
3.
Yeah, let's do top 3. Now let's do top 5. We'll do top 5.
I'll go with 5.
All right, that's great, and I'm gonna end it here. Hopefully, I could out without going blank. So that's a wrap for this episode of the Chi-Town Shoot podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us, and leave your feedback. Tune in next time for more wrestling madness. Until then, keep marking out.